Hello everyone, welcome to the next video. In this one I'm going to share my experience switching basically from Lumix to Canon back to Lumix, specifically right now on the Lumix S5IIX. But this is not going to be like a specific camera review because there are like a ton about this camera already out there. This is going to be more like a practical review as someone who tried a few systems and why I made the decision basically switching back to Lumix. So this video could be for someone if you are on the Lumix system and you might want to switch to Canon, if you want to switch to the Lumix system, if you're interested about the S5 Mark II or S5 Mark IIX, because I think they are both very similar. And before we dive into the camera itself and my experience with it, I just wanted to share my journey as a filmmaker so you can understand my point of view a little bit better. So, you know, I started on the Canon system like a decade ago. I started on the Canon 700D, learned like how to take pictures, what an apertures and everything. And when things got more professional, I went with the GH5 because everyone back then had the GH4. I had great experience with the GH4 and I think the GH5 was just the camera at the time with everything I needed, and I got this for my professional work, you know, shooting real estate videos, weddings, events, all kinds of stuff, YouTube videos and everything. And like the GH5 really was a beast. Like I was so happy using the GH5, like it never let me down. It was always working. I never had issues, overheating issues, recording stops or something like this. But you know, after years of shooting, I was at a time where I wanted to make more YouTube videos. And you know, if you're just way more in front of the camera, you really need to have a good autofocus. So it's really hard if you move around to find like a manual focus spot. I also wanted to switch to full frame, and that's why I made the decision basically to switch to Canon. I always liked the Canon colors, and you know, that was like 2 years ago. I think there was this big hype about the Canon R5 and R6. It turns out for me it was like a really bad decision to switch to Canon. And I didn't know that before. I watched all the reviews, and no one of the big influencers who tested the camera for a week or something talked about overheating issues. I don't know, I watched like 5, 6, 10 videos how you do it if you buy a new product. And yeah, I got the camera, and then I was super disappointed. Like it was overheating. The AF was sometimes working, sometimes it was like working for 10 minutes, and then it decided to focus on my hands. So it was just very unreliable, and that's what's like bringing me to this video and why I want to tell this story. And full disclaimer, I got this camera for free from Lumix, but not on intention. As you can see, my channel isn't that big, and I was doing German videos before, and I did like a video about the GH5 6 years ago. And last year I got an email from Lumix and it said like, hey Tilo, do you want to work together? Like we really enjoyed the GH5 video if you want to test the S5 Mark IIX. Everything I talk about here in this video is my opinion, not Lumix's opinion. They have no right, no saying in the video. So just to get this out of the way, so I would say let's jump into the review. So things I don't like, first of all, you know, for 2024 basically, spending 2.5K, I'm really missing 4K 120. You know, this camera has amazing options when it comes to choosing things, and I'm going to talk more about this in a second. But not having 4K 120 is something I really miss, because nowadays I know they have like 240 FPS in HD. But you know, for YouTube, 50% of the people are watching YouTube now on the big TV on 4K televisions basically at home. And I really want to have my videos in 4K and not, you know, filming 6K and being able to crop in and stuff and then have one more shot which is like in HD. I'm really at the stage where I want to say like HD, yeah, it looks good and you can use it for, you know, if you want to make videos for TikTok and Instagram and everything. But if I want to make videos for YouTube or like professional videos, I want to have like this crisp 4K slow motion, and 4K 120 is just something I have in my Osmo Action 4 basically, and I would love to have this in my bigger camera. I know they have like full frame, and for this price point getting 4K 120 into the camera is difficult, I guess, but there's no 4K 120. That is just something that's missing for me. Then one more thing I don't like, but you know, Vlog is amazing when it comes to the colors. I'm really surprised how amazing the colors are in Vlog. You know, I wanted to go to Canon because of the Canon colors, but now going back to Lumix and having Vlog again. Vlog is really nice, but sometimes it's a bit too sharp, and I really wish that I could turn down the sharpness in Vlog manually, because when I turn on Vlog, I cannot manually adjust the sharpness of the picture. I can just add more sharpness, but I cannot take it back. So I would wish like when it comes to Vlog to have this option that I can turn down the sharpness and then add sharpness manually later in the edit. Also just a small thing. I like Vlog, but it's still a bit too sharp in my opinion. Basically, after shooting now for three months and trying a lot of things, those are the things I miss or don't like about the camera, but that's pretty much it so far when I'm being honest. So let's jump into things I like, and that was also the same with the GH5 back then. It's quite a lot, so let's go through this. I mean, first thing, you know, this, especially the Mark IIX I have here. The design of this looks so amazing. I love the all black design with the logo black of Lumix, like the logo black, and then just having the red recording button at the top. I just really like, as you can see, I love to wear black things, and having a camera that fits to my style was the first bonus of the camera for me. And just like I love to take this in my hand. I also like the build quality, you know, with the like I took this in my hand, and then afterwards I took the Canon R6 in my hand, and the Canon felt like a plastic toy next to this one. Also, when it comes to build quality, that they decided to integrate fans and a cooling system. And with this, so far on Bali, you know, it's always hot here. Like still, it's getting like dark because of the weather, but it's still very hot. And just yesterday, I decided to record not in the screen, but in the camera. I tried to really push this camera in the heat. The screen was way hotter than the camera itself. And I recorded 6K open gate into the camera on the SD card. No issues at all, so no overheating, which is great. You know, the last point I wanted to also talk about the build quality. I can still use batteries for my GH5. Like that's also something is very underappreciated, because you know, every other camera system, for every new camera you need a new battery, and then you know, you have 3-4 batteries laying around and you have to throw them away or sell them. You have to buy new ones. Batteries are also quite expensive, so that was also really nice. That I liked about the build quality and everything, that they think about how can we, you know, keep this and how can we make it better. Okay, then the next one is that the menu is just way better than Canon's. Like I was really missing the menu with the joystick. You find everything you need really quickly. You have a lot of options when it comes to customizable buttons. At the front, the one is really nice. You can customize the wheel at the back. So that's just great in everyday shooting, where you can just put the most important things for you on the wheel, or like quick buttons. So menu is great. And then, you know, all the recording options you have. Like it's incredible, like 6K open gate. I fell in love with the shooting mode just after trying around, being able to now crop in, zoom out. You know, you can see that, like you see the cinematic frame, but if I zoom out now, you can see like I'm shooting in 6K open gate. It's like this window that gives me just more space to adjust this basically in the edit, and now use this for social media basically, or for a cinematic frame. So 6K open gate is great, but this one shoot in, I have it here, like in ProRes HQ and in 422 10-bit all intra directly into the SSD. So if this is something you are using on a daily basis or regular basis as a filmmaker, you have this. And also you can shoot in 5.9K 12-bit in Apple ProRes RAW or B-RAW. I even never heard about B-RAW, so but you can do that into like an external recorder. Like I'm recording right now in a recorder, so I could record Apple ProRes RAW basically now in the screen into the recorder, which is insane. Like I don't want to do that, because for me, for YouTube, recording in 6K open gate is completely fine. We have so many options when it comes to all the different profiles, what you want to choose and what you want to film. Like I said, it's just 4K 120 missing for me, so that's nice. Then also software support. It's like everything is just easy. You see that Lumix is thinking about how to make the experience for filmmakers better and easy. Like just comparing this to Canon, just one example, that just sums it up for me. I was buying in-camera LUTs for Canon, for my Canon R6, and so I purchased them, and I tried to get them on my camera, and then I needed to download the software for Mac, and I connected my camera with USB-C to my MacBook. I had the software on the MacBook, and it wasn't finding the camera. I was trying around for 2 hours to somehow find this camera on my MacBook to get my LUTs on my camera. Jesus Christ, such a terrible user experience using the software from Canon. It's stupid. And here, you know, just I have already like a LUT from Vlog to Rec 709. I have this already pre-installed on the camera, so I don't even have to do anything. I can just see on the side screen on the camera I can see how it looks now in Rec 709, but I'm shooting in Vlog. And then I can just, you know, put new LUTs on my SD card, put this into the camera, install them basically, and then preview them on the camera. So it's just, everything is just easier. Small things like this is just something where I see, okay, this company thinks about making software and experience better for filmmakers, basically. You know, also having the, like, again, going back, I miss this on my R6 just to quickly switch around between different camera modes. Like here I have like C1, C2, C3, and on C3, basically, like the customizable camera profiles, I can choose 3 more, so I can save 6 camera profiles. To quickly switch around, if I'm on the go, I want to shoot something in 4K slow motion, I can just, you know, turn on C2. On C3 I have 6K open gate, on C1 I have just 4K 25 frames. It's going to rain hard in a second, maybe 5 minutes. So okay, I'm moving on. So it's just nice to have this again, quickly switch around. Also, you know, on the other wheel you have like time lapses, photo burst modes that I'm rarely using because I'm mostly shooting video, but you have all those options, which just makes it so nice to use the camera because there's always something new I can try. And then, you know, the biggest point for me, like the biggest point I want to talk about is just reliability. Like that's the most important point when I'm like, for myself as a filmmaker, shooting YouTube videos, podcasts, like professional stuff. I'm not shooting that much professional stuff at the moment for clients, but I did in the past, so I know how important it is to have a camera you can rely on. And the R6 was just so unreliable with everything that I almost had panic attacks thinking about, okay, how can I shoot like for 1.5 hours this client? Like this shouldn't be a problem if you buy a camera for $2,500. This camera for me brings the reliability back. I really try to push this with the overheating. I try to film everything with AF on, not focusing manually. And I had so far no issues. Sometimes when I had like weird light conditions, also now let's see how this works, it's also an autofocus. But like last time I was shooting in this direction and there was like, it was very bright behind me and I was very dark, so it had some issues there. But otherwise I had no problems with the autofocus. All the time on my face, also last time I sit between those two statues here. And it was like thinking the statues are people. But as soon as I sat down, it was tracking me. So, you know, I don't want random overheating. I don't want to have autofocus that is deciding after 10 minutes it's focusing now on my hands. I don't want to have a 30-minute recording limit because that was also something the Canon had. Like after 30 minutes it's just turning off and then you have to start it again. Like super annoying for a camera. And you know, this is everything where the Canon failed me and why I'm so happy to be back on Lumix, because this so far is doing a great job in everything, and it's just the most important thing for me. You know, it can lack a few features from my side, but it just needs to be reliable, where I know I can just put this there, be in front of the camera, and then know the focus is working. I know it's not overheating. Really happy with this one so far, and reliability is the biggest one for me, 100%. And if you're looking for something that's reliable, I'm sure you are going in the right direction with the S5 Mark II system. Also, 5 minutes later, it starts to rain, just to mention this here, as a very big expert when it comes to weather on Bali. So just one last point, you know, if you want to take pictures with this, because that's also something I wanted to have, like a hybrid camera where I can just switch between video and pictures. The pictures I get out of this in RAW, they are amazing. Like they are so sharp, incredibly sharp, but I'm not shooting that much I'm not that much of a photographer, so not the best review from my side when it comes to pictures. But the pictures I took, they are really nice, they're really sharp, very detailed, rich in colors. Alright, so getting to a conclusion before it really starts to rain heavily. You know, I lost fun shooting when I used the Canon. It was really a big part of it. And like this camera is bringing me some fun back into the shooting experience, because I just know I can rely on it, and that's the most important thing for me. So I really hope that doesn't sound like a Lumix sponsored video. It really wasn't my intention. And I really think that the Canon R6 Mark II, that they fixed a lot of things, but that wasn't the solution for my side. If you are thinking to switch to Lumix for the first time, maybe just try it out, rent the camera for a day or two, and just experience it. Try around, dive into the menu, try the different settings and everything, and see if this is something for you. I also enjoy the lenses. You know, I have the lenses here. I made a video about the lenses a week ago. I can link you this below if you want to check it out. I hope this was helpful for your making your decision switching camera systems, because it's always quite some money you have to invest. Yeah, otherwise, subscribe, ask your questions below, and see you in the next one. And thanks to Panasonic for the camera. It's really fun. All right. Cheers, guys. See you next time.